Today, we are going to look at a trading strategy known as CRT. What does it involve? It mainly consists of considering a candlestick pattern. That is, when price reaches a key level, the next candle forms internally within that level, and afterward, it tends to give us the distribution phase. Along with this, we will also apply the PO3 concept, meaning the power of three. First, the accumulation phase is formed, then the manipulation phase, and finally, the distribution phase. Therefore, you may be wondering what it is that we are going to look for every single day. Every day, what we aim to identify is the composition of a three-candle pattern, and from that, establish an expectation within it, whether it is accumulation, manipulation, or the distribution phase. At this moment, which phase are we in? Accumulation or manipulation? We will understand accumulation as the range itself, the formation of that candle. Manipulation occurs when liquidity is fully taken and price positions itself at a key level. What does key level mean? What are we looking for? To trade the next candle toward our next objective, the CRT high. Can we enter on the first move? Absolutely, yes, it is possible. The second one works in the same way. You are the ones who will judge and choose, based on the retrospective analysis done through backtesting. The numbers will speak for themselves. Let's go straight to this example and look at what you are observing. First of all, let's start with the context. What is the high and the low of my CRT? At the top, we have what is known as the CRT high, meaning the high, and at the bottom, we have the CRT low. Price distributes and immediately finishes taking liquidity with the wick, giving us to understand that our next objective will practically be this point. Therefore, that is where I place the BSL. Beyond that, what am I looking for? The context or narrative based on higher time frames, meaning everything that has been formed in the past. For example, here, what do I have? An important or key area, specifically an order block, this low that was not taken as a liquidity target. As you can already notice, there are several aspects that we will go into detail on next. Let's see what happens next. The following candle appears. Let's see if it breaks above, and it does exactly that, reaching the next high. Now let's move on to the next example. Based on the direction, it is completely bullish, indicating that we should continue buying. Therefore, I place the BMS there as it takes liquidity with the body, and my next objective is this next high. Price goes there and fully takes it. What would be our CRT? This high and this low. The next objective is this next low. According to the BAYAS, since it takes liquidity with the wick, it is speculated that price will go for this next low. Let's see what it projects. Exactly, it ends up taking it, even doing so with a wick. Next objective, this next high, and it continues exactly with that same process. Continuing with its development, we need to understand that there are two types of CRT. What is the first one? The three-candle pattern. First of all, as you can see, the first candle represents the range. As we highlighted earlier, it has the high at the top and the low at the bottom. The second candle represents the manipulation candle. As you can observe, it goes and finishes taking liquidity with a wick. It must always do this with a wick, exactly, because that process is what leads us to the third candle. What is the third candle? The third candle will be the expansion candle, or the candle that generates that distribution phase. Now, if we take trades at this point, for example, right here, the first one, we will obtain a greater return, a better risk-to-reward ratio, exactly. If we secure that profit before price reaches the CRT low, perfect, even better. We exit the trade, and with that, we achieve a higher statistical probability. The second phase is where we try to enter on the expansion candle. However, how will we know that this process is going to end? By observing the most recent candle, both its high and its low. How does PO3 come into play? For example, here I have a wick, which I have mentioned in previous videos. When I refer to the wick, I am talking about a rejection block, meaning a block on a lower time frame. What did it do? First of all, as you can see with this candle analysis, first, I am going to draw the candle, the opening price, the minimum price, the maximum price, the upper part, and then I leave the closing price. Which important level did it go to take liquidity from? As you can see, the RB, which stands for rejection block. So what does this mean? Basically, what it tells us is that within the range, there will be a multitude of candles. It will not simply be 3 candles. In other words, the third candle will not finalize the move in a direct way like this, but rather it will require subsequent candles to do so. There may be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 candles, however many are needed. The objective is defined by the CRT high and low, with confirmation, or in that case, the manipulation phase, when it occurs with a wick. The next objective is this following high. Our entry moment is on this next candle. Let's start directly with the next example, with a direction completely aligned with the system. I am going to focus on the bias. As price finishes taking liquidity with the body, my next objective is this following high. I let it run, and price goes and fully takes it. Therefore, our CRT would be this high, and it would also be this next low. Before continuing, as it is being noted right now, we are only going to focus on the first CRT pattern, meaning the confirmation with 3 candles, the first, the second, and probably the third candle that appears and goes for this next low. The second concept I mentioned, the CRT combined with the inside VAR, we will leave for a future video. So, directly referring to the bias, as it takes liquidity with a wick, our next objective now is this low. For those who are wondering, what is bias? What is the power of thrift? As I have emphasized, there are many videos on the YouTube channel. We will introduce them progressively so that the videos are not too long, straight to the point, and by doing so, we will recommend exactly which videos to watch. You can find one titled Power of Thrift, the second as Intraday Bias, and you can also find daily, monthly, and finally, weekly bias. This means that we have explained it for a monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour, 15-minute, 5-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute, or even 1-minute time frame. Continuing on, I move to a lower time frame. As you can see, price went directly for this CRT high and left us with a very important pattern. First, second, and third candle. Within this structure, it finishes balancing that super value gap. As you can see, it even comes back to retest the order block. That is where the first trade could have been taken. How is that possible? First of all, when I have the CRT high and the CRT low, price goes and takes liquidity with the body, because previously it also took liquidity with the body. The next objective is this following high. When it takes liquidity with a wick, it is telling us that this fractal has ended, and the next objective is this following low. Therefore, at this point, I would need to look for entry models. The first one I want to emphasize is the first, second, and third candle, the super value gap, or alternatively, the order block. Let's see what happens with the distribution phase in the following candles. Perfect. It gives us the next candle, and right here it gives us another pattern. I'm going to focus directly on the FVG. Perfect. It continues and directly finishes mitigating it. What happened at this moment? Let's see if it did or did not fully complete that FVG. The fourth candle appears and mitigates it. Let's move directly to the next example, with a completely bearish direction. Something we are forgetting here are the K levels, which we will mention next. I have this CRT high and also this CRT low. Let's see what information it gives us. Price rises and finishes taking liquidity with a wick, cause and effect. Let's see what happens next. It directly leaves all this type of FVG that has already been balanced, so I would have to focus on the most recent one, and it would no longer make sense because transactional orders have already been generated there. The only element we still have pending here would be the BSL on the upper side. Perfect. What do we have there? Something clear, concrete, and specific. We have the order block that gets mitigated, telling us that our next objective, since it takes liquidity with a wick, will be that next low. Therefore, that is where I place the BCL. I go directly to the weekly time frame. Here, what I want to know are those key levels. The only thing I have in favor here is this rejection block. But here, it is already being mitigated. When we move to that time frame, you practically won't find it exactly like this, because it is still in its development phase. The next objective is this weekly low that was formed. I move directly to the daily time frame, and on the daily, what I can observe is refining this one-day block. Here I have all this type of FVG that has already been balanced. However, what remains pending? The 50%. That will be our next objective. Here on the daily time frame, we can directly apply the BIAS and see whether it did or did not take that high or that low. This can be analyzed. However, as you can see, it is this candle that we want to work with. By using the 4-hour time frame, we already have the 50%, and finally, the open of the zone, in this case the rejection block that we observed and marked. I move directly to the 15-minute time frame, from 4 hours to 15 minutes. Here you might be wondering, what does this mean? Do I need specific time frames? Exactly. There are specific time frames for a swing trader, for an intraday trader, and also for a scalp trader. Where are they, and which time frames are they? I will explain that after we finish this example. First of all, what can I note? A marked structure shift, the MSS. At the top, what do I have? I clearly have this FVG. However, the imbalance block is larger, or in terms of quantity of bids. What information does this give us? That we should focus directly on the order block. I move to a lower time frame, which is why I use the 5-minute chart, and let's see what information it gives us here. For example, I refine the fair value gap. The upper part would be this zone here, although it would not be strictly necessary. Let's see if it gives us any entry models. When it reaches that area, it does exactly that. It takes liquidity with a wick, and price even comes back. That means that on the 3, 2, or 1-minute time frame, something happened. We are going to visualize it on the 5-minute time frame until it gives us a pattern. Perfect. Price begins to distribute. Right here, at this moment, as it takes liquidity with the body, the next objective is this following low. However, internally, according to the bias, it is now going to go for this one. There we have 2 levels, these 2 highs. That is where I place an order. I place the stop loss at the top and the take profit level until it reaches the next low, meaning the desired CRT 50%. We can see that it perfectly takes it, and we end up taking approximately $133 in our favor. Right here I activate the concept of the kill zones, and this move developed within the New York kill zone. After that point, let's see what information it gives us. It already surpasses the 50%, as noted here, and it practically continues in its favor. From there, we have a small retracement, and then Asia appears. Before finishing, friends, I want to share with you the time frames that you are going to use. For the daily time frame, our CRT, the high and the low, or the top and the bottom as I mentioned, will be applied to the daily, 4-hour, 1-hour, and 15-minute charts. Entries for the daily setup will be taken on the 1-hour time frame. The key levels will be on the monthly and weekly time frames, meaning the monthly and weekly charts. For the 4-hour time frame, entries will be on the 15-minute and 5-minute charts, with key levels on the weekly and daily time frames. For the 1-hour CRT, the entry time frames are 5 and 3 minutes. The key levels, when I mention key levels I am referring to liquidity, will be on the daily and 4-hour charts. The 15-minute CRT will be worked on the 1-minute time frame. The K level will be on the 4-hour and 1-hour charts. If you are going to work directly with the 4-hour CRT, it is practically recommended to focus on 1 a.m., 5 a.m., and 9 a.m. As you may have noticed, this almost directly aligns or correlates with the Asia, London, and New York kill zones. Now, so that the video is not too long, and as you have constantly pointed out to me, you take too long explaining, be clearer and more concise. I truly understand that. I try to be as concrete and detailed as possible. Therefore, I ask you to go and observe your CRT on the daily and 15-minute time frames, because we have already covered it on the 4-hour and 1-hour charts. One thing we did not emphasize enough are the key levels. As you noticed on the 4-hour time frame, I moved to the weekly and also the daily charts. The closest elements to that level are the order block, the bias, and the highs and lows as liquidity objectives. Let's go straight to the last example that I promised you. When price reaches and takes liquidity from the CRT high, or in some cases the CRT low. In this case I have a completely bearish direction, so that is what I am looking for it to finish taking that liquidity. To do this, I go directly to the 1-hour time frame, and here we are going to see the information it provides. Notice how it does not take liquidity with the body. The next objective is the following low. I let the next candle run. Perfect. The next objective is a reload, which will be that following low. As you can see, it forms internally. In my case, I should map it this way and assume that the fractal has finished. No. Why? Because right here, I already had the minimum and the maximum of the CRT. Here, I am going to apply an ICT concept. Let's see what happens when it breaks above that high. Price goes and takes it, and therefore that is where I place the SIS. Here, SIS refers to the shift in price delivery. Now I go directly to the 15-minute time frame. I delete this point because it was the manipulation. By using the 15-minute time frame, as you can clearly see, the shift in price delivery has now ended. I have my order block right there, and that is where I focus on the 15-minute chart. I move to the 5-minute time frame, and here I would be looking for entry models. Something that is still missing are the key levels, our next objectives. For that, we had highlighted the weekly and daily time frames. Before continuing, I'm going to use the weekly chart. Now that I know very well that this is my predefined CRT, what do I project? First, I am going to apply some basic concepts to keep in mind. We have a structural break, so that is where I mark the structure shift. Price moves away from an important or key level. Perfect. Where does it go? It is practically reaching this entire imbalance, meaning the FVG, more than 50%. So what is projected? These next lows, or directly the swing low. Is that 100% certain? No, because price could easily take this high and then come directly to this FVG to position itself at this level and then continue its move with the shift. So I simply take into account this closest zone. When I move to the daily time frame, what can I already confirm on the daily chart? Besides reaching this macro FVG, after it tests it, we had highlighted this next FVG. Within it, what can I note? I have an order block, so that is where I mark a demand zone. By using the 4-hour time frame, we already have confirmation in favor of it. So what is my closest point or arrival area within it? This demand zone. Since the CRT took liquidity with a wick, I go directly to the 15-minute time frame. Here, we had already pointed out that our shift in price delivery had ended because we used the 1-hour time frame. By using the 5-minute chart, I want to see if it gives me any entry model, or if I can directly enter at this FVG. Price is reaching that area, it breaks above that level, and in fact, this is where we could already position ourselves. However, what can you notice? Look at this FVG, first, second, and third candle. Look at that precision, very detailed. That is where I am going to place a buy. The take profit goes above it. We are going to risk around $80. I could even place it directly at the low of the previous fractal, as I have emphasized in the tutorial videos, almost around $100. In our favor, we can go for an RR of 12 or even RR 13. From this high, which is the CRT, to this low point, that is, the 50 to 150 range, very well correlated. I go directly to this area so there is not too much noise. Perfect. Here it is giving us something key and very important. First, second, and third candle. Let's see if it comes back to test it. It does not, and it also leaves us another imbalance. Let me see what happens in those two areas. I am going to group all these candles, referring to it as the mitigation block, and it directly reaches our objective. Let's see if it reaches the CRT high. It already breaks above it. There it is giving us something important and key. The confirmation is being done with a wick. It tests it. Perfect. And gives us continuation. I activate my tool, and as you can see, the manipulation occurred in London, and the distribution phase was generated in the New York kill zone. So, without anything else to add, if you have any questions or doubts, you can leave them in the comments section. As I have emphasized, I am trying to be as clear, concise, and direct as possible when it comes to trading strategies. And it's true. I understand you. So, my friends, if you want a second part done in the same way, let me know in the comments section and we will gladly do it. Greetings and success to everyone.